Welcome to the course on how to effectively plan and design a project. It will enable you to be efficient and effective with every project that you manage. The learning objectives of this course are: number 1, to enable you gain skills needed to plan, design, and organize projects successfully with minimum risk. Number 2, to equip you with actionable steps and examples needed to plan and design any project effectively. Number 3, to equip you with productivity tools to live a fulfilled life at work and at home. This course is in 3 parts, designed to enable you enhance your project management skills. The other 2 topics in the series are how to build and implement a project and how to close out a project. We look forward to you participating in all 3 courses to plan and execute like a pro. In terms of an outline, we'll begin by setting the context. We will review nuggets of project management by experts. We will agree on a shared definition of project management. 4, we will guide you through 7 steps to effectively plan a project in order to achieve your objectives. And finally, you will be introduced to the project planning matrix for effective project planning. Let's set the context. A good number of businesses across various sectors of the globe have transitioned into project-based initiatives, which could be indicative of the increased demand for project management skills. According to a 2019 Global Outlook report by KPMG, the Australian Institute of Project Management, and IPMA on the future of project management, project management skills are in demand with high volumes of project delivered annually. Are you well equipped to meet this demand? What do you need to boost your competency in project management? Write them down and send it to us on ask@leadafrique.org. We will review them after the 3-part course. Now that we've set the context, what are the experts saying? Kay Tate notes that trying to manage a project without project management is like trying to play a football game without a game plan. G. Rees, a freelance project and program manager, says, project management is like juggling 3 balls: time, cost, and quality. Rory Burke wrote in his book Project Management, Planning and Control Techniques, that project management can be defined as a way of developing structure in a complex project where the variables of time, cost, and resources and human behavior come together. Finally, Winston Churchill talks about planning by saying that people who plan do better than those who do not, even if they rarely stick to the plan. So as the Spartan warrior creed says, he who sweats more in training bleeds less in war. We're going to spend some time on the training field understanding the key elements of project management. First, let's have a shared definition of a project. For the benefit of achieving shared understanding, we define a project as an initiative to change a situation, an environment, and/or behavior and attitudes from an initial state to an improved future state. The process defines the overall goal, objectives, beneficiaries, project strategy, and organization. Finally, a clearly outlined list of responsibilities and procedures for effective execution. Let's review a glossary of some useful project management terms. Accountability. It's an obligation to demonstrate that work has been conducted in compliance with agreed rules and standards, or to report fairly and accurately on performance results in relation to mandated roles and/or plans. Audit. Independent or internal objective assessment of either compliance with applicable statutes and regulations, in parentheses regularity audit, or the relevance, economy, efficiency, effectiveness, which is basically performance audit. Beneficiaries. Individuals, groups, or organizations, whether targeted or not, that ultimately benefit directly or indirectly from a project. Capacity. The resources, be it human, financial assets, skills, knowledge, and organization required to carry out a particular task. Effectiveness, the extent to which the project's objectives were achieved, taking into account their relative importance to do the right things. Efficiency, a measure of how well resources, inputs, which are funds, expertise, time, etc., are converted into outputs, which is to do the things right. Economy, the extent to which the project keeps the cost of implementation down. Equity, the extent to which the project ensures that the benefits are distributed fairly. Evaluation, the assessment as systematic and objective as possible of an ongoing or completed project, program, or policy, its design, implementation, and results. The aim is to determine the relevance and fulfillment of objectives, efficiency, effectiveness, impact, and sustainability. Impact. This refers to the changes caused by implementation of a project as a process or state, which are either intended or unintended, have occurred or are impending. These changes may be either favorable or adverse. Project impact is also dependent on the project environment, given that a project is one element in a system of relationships with mutual interactions. Indicator. Quantitative or qualitative verifiable factor or variable that provides a simple and reliable means to measure achievement, results, and to reflect processes as well as changes in the context. Monitoring. A continuing observation function that uses systemic collection of relevant and selected data to provide management and the main stakeholders of the project with indications of the extent of progress and achievement of objectives, as well as the process and impact. So what is an overall goal? The higher order objective to which a development intervention is intended to contribute. How about an objective? It is the intended physical, financial, institutional, social, environmental, or other goals which a project is expected to achieve and which lies in its own sphere of influence. Outcome. Results of a project relative to its objective that are sufficient and necessary to achieve the former and are generated by its respective partner outputs. Outputs. The total of all the products and services of a project as a result of the activities. Stakeholders can be agencies, organizations, groups, or individuals who have a direct or indirect stake or commitment in the program or project design, implementation, benefits, and its evaluation. Sustainability. The continuation of benefits, effects generated by a program or project after its termination could be institutional, social, economic sustainability. We hope that was helpful. Now let's take a walk through 7 key steps to effectively plan a project. Step number 1 is to determine the real problem your project is supposed to solve. Available information from research reports advise that you need to access the target area and facts related to the problem. Analyze the existing context of the problem. That is, identify the major problems and their main causal relationships. These can be visualized using a problem tree, a fishbone, or other tools. Ask yourself, what pain are you addressing? What need are you filling? What problem are you solving? What are the key elements of the problem? Make clear, concise, well-supported statement of the problem to be addressed. Answers to these questions will provide you with clarity to proceed to the next step. And step number 2 is to identify the project beneficiaries and stakeholders and communicate regularly. Draw a comprehensive picture of the stakeholders, interest groups, institutions, and individuals affected or impacted by the project or problem. Some of the questions to ask here are, who will my project benefit? Who will be affected by my project? What are their demographic characteristics? How many are they? Where are they located? What are their beliefs, their social norms and practices? What is the best way to reach them? Once you've established some great answers to these questions, it's time to define some objectives. Which brings us to step number 3, define the project goal and objectives. In developing the objective, the problem tree is transformed into a tree of objectives, which are the future solutions of the problem. Always ensure that your objectives are SMART, which is an acronym for specific, clear, and straightforward. The M stands for measurable. The A is for actionable. It must be relevant, which is the R, to the problem. and it must be time-bound. Examples of a SMART project objective could include to produce one emailed newsletter about the planned structural changes by the 21st of every month starting in June. So to produce is specific and achievable. One emailed newsletter, that's measurable. Planned is relevant, and by the 21st of every month starting in June is time-bound. SMART goals bring further clarity to the project and motivate you to keep going. Step number 4 is to determine the scope of resources and major tasks needed. What resources do you need? How many people do you need? How much money do you need? What machines or equipment are fit for purpose? What materials are needed? What are the main blocks of work and key activities needed to complete the project? Lots to evaluate, huh? Not a problem. This process will make execution much simpler and very easy. Step number 5, draw up a risk mitigation strategy. Analyze the possible problems and roadblocks ahead. Decide and identify possible alternative actions to overcome these roadblocks. Assess the feasibility of these actions. Ask yourself, what's your risk mitigation strategy? How will you combat fraud, natural misfortunes, unexpected occurrences, etc.? What is the likelihood of occurrence and impact should it occur? A typical risk mitigation strategy is presented in pictorial form on your screens. From low to extreme risk and insignificant to catastrophic, you simply run to your plan in the event of an emergency. Step number 6, prepare for trade-offs. Analyze how time, cost, and quality play out. Ask yourself, what are the trade-offs to pay attention to in regard to these 3? Quality equals to time plus cost for each task. It is important to find the right balance between these 3. Step number 7, identify the indicators and their means of verification. Conduct a quantitative and qualitative analysis to identify the impact indicators that provide a simple and reliable means to measure your project's achievements and results. Take a look at the project planning matrix on your screen. Once the project strategy has been closed, the main project elements, overall goal, objectives, expected results, and activities are derived from the objectives tree and transferred to the project planning matrix. For each level of the elements on the matrix, define the external conditions and factors that will have to be in place for the project to succeed. Applying these project management principles to any project is important to its success. Just like a driver is exposed to fatality on the road if he neglects the needed driving principles, you as a project manager is also exposed to the risk of having projects fail when project management techniques are not applied. Again, timely and informed communication across all disciplines and involving key stakeholders is key to the success of project delivery. Before you log off, let's remind you of the key points in this course. A project is an initiative to change a situation, an environment, and/or a behavior and attitude from an initial state to an improved future state. There are 7 steps to planning a project effectively. Step 1, determine the real problem your project solves. Step 2, identify the project beneficiaries and stakeholders. Step 3, define the project objectives. Step 4, determine the scope of resources and major tasks needed. Step 5, draw up a risk mitigation strategy. Step 6, prepare for trade-offs. Step 7, identify project indicators and their means of verification. Also, remember that the keys to success in implementing projects is how you juggle the important elements of cost, time, and quality. It's time for your gem step. Are you ready? A gem step is an assignment that impacts your daily choices. Extend your commitment to this new learning by using the project planning matrix to draw out your project plan. Review the project matrix once again. Send us your progress via ask@leaderfreak.org. Also, remember to like our social media pages and sign up for the other courses under this branch if you haven't done so already. Awesome. Clap for yourselves. You have just completed lesson on how to effectively plan a project. Kindly continue with the second in the series of this course. Thank you for spending this time with us. Be sure to practice your gem step and share your experiences with us. Until we see you again next time, remember that we're here to cheer you on to greatness. See you soon.
Who do you turn to for a quick tip on personal development? MyLeadershipFarm.com offers short, simple, and sweet online courses for everyone in the family. MyLeadershipFarm.com. Log on, learn, have fun, earn a certificate, and double your income. MyLeadershipFarm.com. Online courses for everyone in the family.